Hey guys, how's it going? My name's Dave, DLC Dave, and welcome back to the 17th episode, the 17th chapter of Rise of the Phoenix. Now today we are taking on Hull City in the FA Cup 5th round. Absolutely fantastic that we're here. As you can see, the episode is titled Mauled by the Tigers. Hopefully that's not what's going to happen, but I am not confident. We are in the Premier League, we are away from home. It's going to be a very, very difficult game. Now then, so since you were last with us, the incredible 4-1 away win at Wolves, we have played 3 games, and I will show you guys that now. Right, Smith has the ball, he plays it infield to Peacock, finds Ryder, he slips in Williams, it's tackled, but unfortunately for Hungerford, it falls to Paul Phillips, who has a simple task of putting it in. Now it's Phillips into Sinton. We've tried to find Nathan Smith, but it's cut out. It's then cleared up towards Plezier, I'm going to go for. He's tackled, almost tackled by Long. He comes away with it, but Dennison intercepts. Very, very well done. Sinton now plays it back to Peacock, to Williams. Up to Phillips, got plenty of space here. Can he find a ball across? He can, and there's Dan Ryder. 35 minutes played, and Phoenix Sports lead 2-0 against Hungerford. To Stevenson, back to Giles. They're keeping it well here. Looks like this is definitely going to be a chance for them. Bentley now to Beasley. He does very well and puts it into the top corner. Lovely, lovely goal. And it makes it Phoenix Sports 2, Hungerford 1, and that's how it finishes. So we'll get into the next game. Right, Sinton has it. He finds Ryder. He slips in Paul Phillips with a lovely back heel. What a piece of play that was. And we take the lead here in 9 minutes. 1-0 against FC United of Manchester. Sinton now, he finds Phillips, he's tackled Williams, it's going very, very fast. Sinton slips in Nathan Smith, and it's 2-0 inside 15 minutes. Long way back for FC United now. And Ryder plays out to Long, he finds Williams. Into Sinton, slips into Dan Ryder, and it's a lovely move. So the first time passing there was absolutely next level. Okay, so it was a corner that was played in a little bit long here. Dan Ryder just changed on it and puts it in the top corner. And it's 4-0 inside 26 minutes here. FC United are in division above us. And Dan Ryder makes it 5. Stop commentating now. It's just embarrassing for him. And that's a hat trick for Dan Ryder. Williams has it now. Oh, what a finish! What a finish that is from Ryan Williams. 6-1, is it? 6-0. And they pull a goal back. Wharton, to be honest, I didn't commentate because I expected us to win it back and go off and score. That's how good we've been in this game. But now we come forward with Bitchy here. Can we reply? Paul Herbert, can he get the ball across? I think he can. He can. And there's Gary Espinosa arriving late from his left back berth to make it FC United 1, Phoenix Sports 7. An incredible result here. This was an FA Trophy match. We do seem to pull out our best performances in cup games. It's remarkable, really. But a very, very, very good performance and victory here. And I'll get into the last game last game that you haven't seen. Okay, so Good has it into Sinton. He finds Ryder. To Paul Phillips. Can he score? He can. Keeper didn't get a strong enough hand to it. And Paul Phillips breaks the deadlock. 16 minutes played, and we lead Bridges Hill by 1-0. Long, he finds Williams. No, he doesn't. He is tackled. Dennison does a fantastic job of making sure that doesn't get through to the striker. That was a worry. And Espinosa to Smith. Back to Espinosa again. He finds Long. Puts it inside to Smith. To Ryder. Oh my god, Dan Ryder. What are you doing? What are you doing to these lads? I mean, he just absolutely, first time, left-footed. Bent it into that top corner. Now then. Smith plays it down. No, Dan Ryder. Absolutely incredible. Just blasts the ball into the top corner whenever he wants. Whenever he bloody well wants. Right then. They had the ball here, but we tackle it well. And they try and do a slip ball through, but it doesn't quite work out. And Paul Herbert now can hopefully bring it away. He finds Ben Bitchy, who puts it into Dan Ryder. What can he do? To Espinosa, who passes it out wide to Smith. Can he get the ball across? It's deflected back. And Paul Herbert, though, on hand. That's meat and drink to the 6'7" wide forward. A bit on Itaki. I think what's happening is that they are trying to come forward too much, and we are catching them on the break. And this is happens from time to time. Is that when we score that second goal or that first goal, it makes teams push out, and we really exploit that space in behind. The amount of time when the ball that our players have is just not the amount of times what Good has there, Smith, Ryder, and it's beautiful football. But we're given the time and space because they're pushing forward too much, and that makes it Burgess Hill 0, Phoenix Sports 5. Okay, guys. So as you can see, we played 3 games since that victory over Wolves. We've got the game against Hull today. Very, very good performance, particularly the last 2, where we absolutely dominated teams. The FC United game, they were out of sight. I think Dan Ryder scored a 16-minute hat trick, and there's been a little bit of news with Dan Ryder. He's now saying that he's happy to stay. Well, he says he's happy to stay because there isn't concrete interest in him. But when I get off a new deal, he's still got that issue that he doesn't think the squad is strong enough to match his own ambitions, and it's a little bit annoying because he's still on a part-time contract, and his contract runs out at the end of next season. But obviously he's still developing exceptionally well, as he will do, only being 16 and a half, well 17 and a half really. But Morales. I don't know why Morales is saying very very poor. It just feels pressured by the interest in him. But he wants to play. He wants to win the Premier League, and as well as I can say that we're going to be we're going to try. I'm not sure. I'm not sure we're going to be too close to it by the time he finishes his career. But but he is still obviously he's still playing well, banging in the goals, so he will still play. He scored 39 goals in all competitions, 23 in the league. Absolutely incredible player. So this is the team we're going to go forward with today. I'll show you here now. It is I think it's our best. Would be our best if Luke Peacock wasn't suspended, but it's pretty much our best team. Certainly our best defence. We have Bradford in goal, Sean Long, George Dennison, Matthew Johnson and Gary Espinosa at the back. Good in Sinton in midfield. Williams, Phillips and Smith in behind Dan Ryder. So without further ado, I don't think there's been any other big news. We got through the January without any big issues. I think Luke Peacock signed a new contract, and that's what I've been doing as well. I've been trying to tie up players to long-term contracts. Jake Bradford we had an issue with that he wanted to go, but we got him to sign a new deal. And we've also got in a few of the players that we want to keep, especially. We've got this optional contract extension by the club, like George Dennison. So while it says he's here until for 2 more years, he's actually just signed a 4-year deal. He doesn't know that, but Matthew Johnson won't sign a new deal though, and he's not happy at the club. Apparently, he wants to play games in his favourite position. I think he wants to play as a central defender, not a ball-playing defender. And if that's an actual issue for him, then he's just being an arse. But he actually wants to join Burnley, which is the real big one. He's still got massive interest from a lot of clubs, including Freiburg and Getafe. Interesting, but yeah, he's a very important player for us. He's one of the older players as well. 18 years old. He came in 3 years ago, and he's just always played well. Actually, I think this will be his 100th game for the club this next game. Gary Espinosa performing very very well. I'll go through some of the players that you might not have seen. You've seen Jake Bradford coming on very, very well for us. I'm really excited about him. I think I think he should have more potential than our coaches are giving him credit for. To be 3.5 star at 18 for a goalkeeper, I think he's got a lot. He's got a lot more to develop into, and I think he will do. Sean Long is obviously just the 2-star player. We're gonna hopefully let him go in the end of the season. I say hopefully because we don't know what the Region Day is going to bring. So we may have to extend his contract by 1 more year. But Region Day is not far away. I think it's something like maybe another week and a half perhaps. And I'll bring that to you in the next episode. So we've seen George Dennison, fabulous player to be honest. I think he's gonna be better than Matthew Johnson, if I'm being honest. And I'm so happy to have tied him down for another 4 years really. Johnson you've seen, Espinosa you've seen, Matt Good, 2-star player again, someone who we will hopefully let go at the end of the year. Not really capable of of being a star on this team anymore. He was for a little while. He spawned with the club at the start of the save, and just hasn't really. Well, he's getting old. He is the elder statesman. He is the captain, which is always a shame to let go of your captain, but he just isn't capable of really playing too much anymore. Chris Hinton is developing well. He's got. I like his physical stats, some good mentals. Probably just needs to work on some technical areas, but overall, I like him. He's a good player. I think he fits a box-to-box role pretty well, physically he can anyway, and he's got reasonable technicals in the right areas. So yeah, I think I'm happy with him. Ryan Williams actually proved to be a very good player for us on that right hand side, but I am I'm still of a mind to let him go at the end of the year because I just don't think we. Well, I just rather play Paul Herbert right now. Paul Herbert just probably isn't quite at the same level, but he will be. Paul Herbert is getting there, and he's just developing fantastically well, and he's only going to get better. So probably next season, regardless of whether we get another region to play out there or not, I'll let Ryan Williams go, despite his very good performances, 7.30 in the league. But for this game, because I wanted to just play players who are really well suited to the league and really well suited to the position. Because Paul Hurt's probably actually a better player now, but he suits being an inside forward better than Herbert does. He performs the role better. He gets more crosses and he creates more chances. Paul Phillips is really kicked on this year, doing really well. His attributes don't actually look that impressive, but you can see 19 goals from attacking midfield this year. Always performs well. 5 goals in what 5 games in the FA Cup, 2 assists as well, and that. And he just always performs. He's only 5'5". He's a small man, but he has only 10 passing. He's not. If I looked at him, I wouldn't be that impressed with him, but he does perform over and above what his attribute says, and he is going to get a bit better. Nathan Smith is coming on very well. I am excited about this winger. See, technically, he's got the first touch, finishing, dribbling, and crossing. Those to be all 11 and above are really good. And physically, he's got what he needs to as well for the extra bit of pace. He's got enough passing to get by. His technique's good. To me, he's just the all-round winger that you want. And if you look at his stats, he fits the winger role pretty much perfectly. Inside forward, a little bit less so. But all as inside forward means is that you generally play as a winger, just slightly more narrow. So the winger attributes still apply. And yeah, I'm really happy that he's able to. He's developing. He's now stayed at the club for another 4 years, and we've got a 3-year optional contract sentence. Really, he's just signed a 7-year deal. He's 26 at least. Sorry, mate. And then obviously you've seen Dan Ryan. As for the bench, there's Lane Love, another player who we have got him signed up for a couple of years. He's still a decent player, but if we do, he's someone that I'll keep around as a backup, and that's what his contract is there for. But if we can move him on because we get someone in who's better to play the backup, then I will do that. Jonathan Ofori is the backup midfielder. He's coming on okay. But really, I'm not sure he'll ever be really good enough to play a starting role for us, particularly as we move up the leagues. I'm just really aren't sure. Ben Beachy is doing well. He is the backup to Paul Phillips in the attacking midfield area, and he's decent. He contributes when he plays, mostly as a sub. But yeah, he's coming on okay. But again, I would like a bit of a star man in that attacking midfield area if we could get one. The FM goals could be kind of. So it's only Paul Herbert. He is a real standout player, and at only 18, he's got physical stats that rivals the Greek god right now for me. He obviously he's improving in every single attribute pretty much, and I think I see him as either starting wide man, or if the worst happened and Den Ryder does leave, he could actually be a starting striker if he improved his finishing. But we'll have to see about that. Alan Skinner, also developing well, is now happy with being at the club. Yeah, he had some interest, but he didn't come of anything. I think he did complain about not being able to join a certain club, but I can't remember which one it was. But he's now happy to be at the club, and which is great. Tends to happen once the transfer window actually closes. These clubs that were interested in him have either signed somebody else or move on with their interest, and then they say, "Well, there's no interest anymore, so I'll stay." And that's when I immediately go in for a contract offer. Usually it works, just hasn't worked with Dan Ryder because his issues aren't just to do with not being able to join another club. It's that he feels that he is better than the team, and I wholeheartedly agree. But come on, mate, just sign just another 10 years. That's all I want out of you. Anyway, Tom Anderson will be leaving as soon as I can. Actually, I've offered him out, but nobody was interested. He's just not really good enough anymore, unfortunately. He's done okay when he's played, but he's generally just not as good as Williams and Hibbert on the right. He's not as good as Beachy and Phillips in the middle. He's not as good as Smith. Well, actually, it was only Smith on the left, but even when he comes on the left, which is where I invariably bring him on, he just doesn't perform. Jimmy Gale is probably the he's only on the bench really because he can play left back, and we don't have another left back. So he can play all across that defence, which is useful, but in terms of his ability, he isn't really capable of helping the team out just right now. Olawale, yeah, just isn't as good as Bradford. He's 19 now and is wanted by clubs, well, Millwall and MK Dons. If they came in with a bid for him, I'd probably try and let him go if we could get near £200,000, maybe with a sell-on fee. That'd be decent. He plays out on loan. No real standouts that could have gone out because the players that I want to keep are obviously here because even though they're young, they are still here. Luke Peacock would be a starter over Good if he was suspended, but yeah, he's just signed a new contract himself here for 4 more years, just for 4 more years, which is fine. He's a decent player. I would say that we don't really have a standout in that midfield area. I'd say Christensen is probably the best player, but I would love to get a real quality midfielder in there. And really, I'd like a quality player. Just if I'm being really picky, I think centre backs are fine with. I mean, I'd be a bit of a worry if Johnson will leave the club, but I'd love a left back, a midfielder, and a right winger. Those two positions would be fantastic. And if I'm being really, if I was to have my cake and eat it too, then I would go for an attacking midfielder as well. That would be a real standout there. But in an ideal world, I want a midfielder and I want a left back and actually probably a right back. I want a new team. Sod it. So we have Mitchell Kinnear, who again is another player who I'll probably look to let go. I've given him a new deal, but just because I'm trying to tie down players where I can, really. I'm not. I don't want to let players go for free. So even players who I don't feel good enough, I'm happy to give them a contract because they're down as £160 a week. We could have fantastic finances due to the players we've sold. And he sounds a hard pass, but he barely plays for us, and he just isn't as good as anywhere near as good as the players we have. So I just don't see a place for him, unfortunately. This player is wanted by clubs, wanted by Walsall and Wigan for some reason in the Championship, and in Championship clubs want him. And I just don't see it. So I'm going to let him go if an offer comes in. Jacob Wilson could be good for the club. He has decent potential. He's only 16, but he's got decent air. A little bit like I see him as like a little bit of a younger Nathan Smith. And twice, if Anderson does go, which I am assuming he will, and Kinnear goes, he'll probably be the backup left winger for next season. And I don't see a real issue with that. Needs to work on his crossing, obviously, but on the whole, his stats are not too far, are quite suited to playing that winger role. And then there's Jay Weaver, who has played a little bit this season. He's okay. Obviously he's recovering from a very serious injury. He's put him out for I think it was a couple of 4 weeks. And he's stinned it in a match, as you can see. He has been playing games. Obviously, he's just had a difficult injury. And he's decent. He's got some decent stats in key areas, but I don't think he's not I don't think he's going to develop too much, unfortunately. And really, he's sort of the backup of all backups for the striker role or right winger. But that's the squad anyway. Obviously, we will add to it in the next couple of weeks with the regen day. But that's always an exciting time for me. So, but for now, we've got Hull. We're playing at the circle, and we're going to get into the game. Hope you didn't mind the little rundown of the squad. I just felt like it was good to, as it's only going to be one game this episode, and I'm fearful that it's going to be a difficult result, shall we say. I figured I'd give you a little rundown of how I see the squad and how I see us going forward, really, where I want to hopefully have us improve. Yes, that's another day. So now we are playing Hull away, and if I look at that team, is that Fernando Llorente? It is 33 of Fernando Llorente. Going to be a big ass to contain his size and physicality. I don't recognise him. Cecilio Dominguez. Okay, all right, very good. I mean, he's good, isn't he? I mean, wow. Grosicki's still there. Good right-sided player. Junior Hoylett. Wow, you don't often see him make it back to the Prem, do you? He just mills around the Championship and then goes and joins some Canadian team or some team in the MLS or something. But yeah, he's okay. He can play a lot of positions, just not none of them very well. Gedson Fernandez. Well, he's an exceptional player on loan from Benfica. He is an exceptional player. I'm sure he always does very well. And again, another player who can play pretty much everywhere on the pitch. Mason Holgate's playing defensive midfield, and he told done very well to get him, although he's on £92,000 a week. But he is a very good footballer. I'm not sure I'd play him. I think I'd play him more as a ball playing defender, to be honest. I'd play him as a centre back. He's small, or even at right back, if I'm being, well, I mean, for me, he'd play up front for me with his ability. Andrew Robertson is still there, Curtis Davies, Harry Maguire, and that Christian Manea. Very good right back. Only 21. Good price for him as well. Not played too well in the league this year after a good start last season. Strange how he's dropped off so much, but he's a good right back. And David Marshall is in goal. The bench, I recognise Evandro, I think he's there now. Timon, I recognise that Solanke, obviously. Don't recognise Max Clark. Hull youth product and not particularly going to develop. I don't think he's going to make it in the Premier League too often. And Adam Bowles, a regen centre back, started off at Moors. Just signed him actually. But if he doesn't, if he came off the bench, it'd be his debut. I don't. See, I think. Well, I know that Johnson and Dennison are better than him, and they are younger than him. So that's our team anyway. They're playing a pretty defensive 4-4-2, really, with two defensive midfielders. Paul Phillips is going to do really well to get space in this system against this team. But yeah, I mean, I'm not confident, but we're going to have a go at it. We're going to show me what you can do. Right, team talk has been completed, and here we go. It's Hull. This is Phoenix Sports. Martin Tyler.
And it's live.
Come on, lads. Let's do this. Right, so we'll get this put as highlights out the way, and there it goes. Now, what can we do against the Premier League side away from home? I wonder what I do wonder what the attendance is. That's always my big thought with these games, is that the ground looks pretty full. I think this is the... Oh. Llorente makes it 1-0. It's a good bit of play by Cecilio Dominguez. He beat, I'm not sure who it was. Was it Johnson on the left-hand side? Good, yeah. He's well, good. It's not very good, please. Good is not very good. But he slides on Llorente. He's never going to miss that. 10 to a goal, about 7 yards out. Simple tap in, really. As I was saying, what I really look for is the tendencies, and I think this is going to be. I think this stadium will be full because I think this is actually the step before the quarterfinals. Incredibly, but we go into half time. There's just that 1-0, just that one goal really, one little lapse where they got in behind us. I'm going to say I'm not pleased. Get them fired up, motivate them. Do I want to make a change? I'm almost tempted to put Paul Herbert on for Dan Ryder. I feel like his extra physicality, his extra something different might make something happen in this game. But I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna give Dan. Obviously, Dan is our best player, and it almost seems silly to take him off. But I'm gonna give him some time. If we get to 70 minutes or so, then I will. Oh dear. Corner's played in, and Lorente, no foul on the keeper. No, Curtis Davis it was who heads it in. It's 2-0 now to Hull. What happened? What happened to Bradford here? Corner comes in. Oh, we just didn't get anywhere near it. And Curtis Davis, I think could have been him or Lorente, and now we have to make changes. Right, so what are we going to do? So we're going to take Paul Phillips off. Like I say, it's difficult for anyone to get space in that defensive midfield that they've got locked down. We're going to bring on Paul Herbert for Dan Ryder, who's also not played too well. Doug Jenkinson's not having a good game. He's also low on condition and been booked. I'm going to bring on Lane Love. 3 subs in one go. Come on, FM gods, strike me down. What have you got for me? Right, and we're going to give us a team talk passionately. Push forward. Go for it. There's nothing else to lose. May as well lose 3 or 4 than 2 for a chance of getting at least getting a goal or even seeing a highlight from it. So we've had a lot of shots, but 14 of them have been long shots. So they're holding through and pushing back against us an awful lot. We had a lot of possession, as we will do, 70% possession, but we haven't seen a single highlight from us. And this is what we need to improve on as we go up the leagues, I think, is just this. We're always going to have possession, but we're just able to not do anything with it, unfortunately. And time was tipped right down here. We've got a corner, but there it is, and it's 2-0 to Hull. They've just seen us push us aside, really. They got their 2 goals and their 2 highlights, and yeah, and so ends the FA Cup dream for another year. It's been a great run though, further than we ever had before, the 5th round, and I'm sure that this is going to be a little bit of a can we go one more than we did before, and that maybe it was the game before the quarterfinal, so the quarterfinal draw on the horizon. Okay, so that was it's a pretty quick game, to be honest. I'm glad now I did the extra little rundown of the squad. 22,000 fans were in attendance, so we're almost now at 6 million. And that's without selling any players. We've sold nobody this year, so it's not just been players that have been brought in, players that have sold on that have made all the money like it has been in previous years. The club have made a profit of 1.6 million. So we are absolutely swimming in money, really, for a club at this level. What can I tell the board to do? I don't care about transfer budget, obviously, or wage budget. No, nothing really. There's anything stadium stuff, and they're never going to do that. Who were the other News club tours? I think that'll be the next game we come back to. Now, Dartford absolutely battered us, in the earlier game. We play them very soon, a bit too soon. Billericay, I've already played them though this year. Tell you what, it might not be a tough game, but the Eastbourne Borough game, they're 18th, so they're not a brilliant team. But the Eastbourne Borough game is where we'll come back near the end of March. We'll have had the regen day. We've had a good number of games, including that Ebbsfleet FA Trophy quarter final. I do want to win this competition, the FA Trophy. Obviously we haven't really come that close yet. Last season we got to the quarter final again, so that and we got not lost to Torquay. So I would like us to win it because obviously we are running out of opportunities to be involved in it. I think 1 more year or 2 more years and we'll be out of it because we'll be in the football league. I hope. I'm expecting us to really fly through the Vanarama leagues really. So yeah, so we'll come back for that Eastbourne Borough game, and that'll bring us to the end of the episode. So if you have enjoyed it, guys, I think it's been a slightly longer episode, just because I went through the squad, and a few other little bits and pieces. But if you have enjoyed it, please leave a like, subscribe if you'd like to see more, follow me on Twitter @DLCDave1, and until next time, I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.